you coming out here?
You told us that
We're gonna have one
we did
test.
not belong here, even though I was born, raised, everything here.
When did I say you don't belong? I said the spirit.
You said
I said-
us as people
I said
over
every
there.
wicked-
That group of people do
Well,
not
you know
belong
what you know
here.
what you need to do? What you need to do is go back on the live stream and listen.
We will.
We will.
Yeah. You want a card?
No,
Yeah,
not really.
How are you gonna know where to go?
Because I've
We have
already
already
seen.
we
found your
how we know
Instagram.
So just listen back on the live stream and then you'll hear exactly what I said.
She had a question.
Yeah, I do. There was one thing in particular. I mean, there was a few things in particular that really struck me as disrespectful that you said.
Sure.
But there was one thing in particular that you really did that, to me, went against everything that you were preaching about. There was a gentleman over here that may have misunderstood a statement that you said, and you made a comment on his education after he had already asked you to not make comments about his education, and then you decided to make a statement of the fact that by your thought he would have only had a fourth grade education, which I felt like was a little bit of bullying, which went against what you were preaching earlier about the fact that you were bullied your whole life.
It's a perspective.
And it felt like to me you were bullying that man who had just told you that he did not want you to make comments about his education. And so I just wanted to know whether or not you had a response to that,
Sure,
if you had any
sure,
sort of
yeah,
rebuttal.
yeah. I mean, you have a perspective on what I said, and I have my perspective on what I said. I mean, when you're having street dialogue and someone's trying to bully you off the corner and make fun of your religion, and I think what goes for the goose goes for the gander. If you're going to misquote me and misdirect what I'm saying,
I don't think
then
Does
I'm
that mean, does
hold
that
on,
mean
hold
that
on.
you would
I'm
do...
answering you.
Okay.
I'm answering you. Sometimes you have to make comments in similar nature so you can get the point. It's a way of expression. If you ever listen to hip hop, rock and roll, death metal, whatever, I'm sure there's a lot of forms of expression that I could say I don't agree with, but that's the form of expression.
Okay.
So I said what I said in my context. No disrespect intended. I hope all the best for him as well as for you. But I wanted to make a point that if you're going to be so bold and assertive against somebody, and you better be able to take that back.
I mean, I would
If you're
say
going
the
to throw
same...
out stuff like
Yeah.
that and say you know the facts, act like you know the facts,
Why do you
then
think
I'm
she's here?
I'm going to be
I don't
able to say.
necessarily... I would actually kind of say that for the same on your hand, though, because I tried to even ask you if I could come over and have a conversation with you. And I also tried to rebuttal and say things back to you, and you would just interrupt and yell and preach at me while I was replying to something that you were saying to me, such as when you called me a witch. I actually have no religious feeling
Affiliation.
whatsoever. I honestly just really like this outfit, so I wore it down here,
You like wearing
and I tried
witch
to rebuttal
outfits?
you
It
for
was a
what you had
gift from
said,
me.
and instead,
You like giving witch outfits.
yeah, but
Game.
that's
It's a
I
nice
like it.
style. I mean, it's
but
not a witch outfit. It's
regardless-
something that just says
Even
witch
if it
on
was,
Black Lives
regardless,
Matter.
thank you.
I'm the only one that's black
regardless-
in this conversation.
Doesn't mean we can't agree that Black
I'm
Lives
sorry, you
Matter.
had a gentleman over here that said white lives matter
Yeah.
over there, and he was
White
standing over
life,
here.
your life matters. You're white.
Not in the same way,
At
but
this
I,
current point, we're standing up for people who.
Stand
need
up
it.
for me. Why are you guys bullying me over
We're
there?
not
I'm the
bullying
only
you.
I'm the
Wait.
only black guy here. Oh,
we're not.
he's
It's not a
black.
racial thing. We're not bullying
You guys are
you.
saying Black Lives Matter. I'm the black guy.
What I'm trying to
Yes,
say, if
your
I
life
can,
does matter.
So
It's
does
the
yours.
fact that yes, all
If
of
this
us matter.
building is on fire right here, that's the building that's in concern, not any of the houses
Which
down
means
here.
the fire trucks
This is
would
the
come
And
immediate
you guys
place.
realize you're white people talking to a black guy right now.
yes,
right?
but we're not talking to you about police or anything.
Actually,
I'm
I was
talking to
just
you
talking
the
about a
hate that
man
you
who
spew.
you
Okay,
had
so
in your
let's
group over
finish
here.
third conversation because we're all over the place.
Okay.
Black Lives Matter stuff.
My
I'm the only
comment
black
was
guy
the
here.
fact that I was trying to rebuttal you about what you were saying because you were speaking directly towards me. You called me out of the front, and I was speaking directly at you. And instead of talking to me and taking back what you were giving me, you were over speaking me and speaking very, very loudly and aggressively. So if you're saying that he should be taking that because he was giving that to you, you didn't do the same thing for me.
Okay, well, just in all fairness, I was preaching a message. I do want to finish my message when I'm speaking. So if there was a lot of people speaking, trying to speak over me.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with yelling at you. I'm preaching what I'm preaching, sharing my message. And
But
I
you were
have-
preaching it at me.
Hold on. I'm preaching it to all of you, actually, not just you.
Well, yes, but that was my point. If you can interrupt your message in order to ask a man if he had a fourth grade educational level, then I think you can interrupt your message in
okay.
order to have me rebuttal
I
and tell you
I
I'm not a
chose
witch.
in my message to speak this way and to stop at that point.
And I'm
I
just
didn't,
trying to
and I didn't choose to stop at every point where everybody. And to be honest, your voice is not that loud. And to be honest, I did hear you trying to say something.
You were, I mean, I was
But-
looking right at you and I went like this
Sure.
and raised my hand.
But you have to
talk
also
you.
understand that there's a speaker in front of me, and it's drowning out your voice. So whatever you were trying to say, as far as I know, I see someone over there, like I said, wearing a witch outfit with a pentagram, and it's true.
Pentacle.
So,
Yeah.
Correction.
sorry,
Pentacle and pentagram are two different things.
pentacle, pentagram. It's okay. So now that you have an opportunity to talk, what would you like to discuss?
I feel like it's a little bit, crazy might not be the right word, but that's what it feels like to me. For you to say that people of religion go through worse
Oppression.
trials, tribulations, oppression than LGBT people,
Well,
or just any people of any sort
I
of.
think in every generation
religion.
we have different groups receiving oppression and persecution, right?
Yes, but you did state that as a fact for you,
Yeah,
which
it-
is what
no,
I
it-
agree, disagree.
Okay. Have you ever asked any Christian about it?
Yes.
I used to be Christian.
Okay. Have you ever done any research about Christian persecution? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
You have. So what did you find?
I found that it does happen sometimes.
Sometimes.
A
They're actually
But
the most.
the
They're
fact
actually
that
the most persecuted group
ours-
in the world right now.
Okay.
Right now?
Right now. Yeah. Look it up.
No.
Look it up.
I don't think it's the most.
Yeah, I know you don't
persecuted
think,
people.
but look it up
Is it because they're Christian?
because of their Christianity.
No.
So who's persecuting?
All right. So we're just gonna go yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Okay.
Yeah.
Just look it up, study it.
I mean, the main reason why I came over here.
But they're
is
not-
because
but
I
it-
wanted
but
to
it's-
know why
but
you
it's not-
bullied a
but it's
grown
not
man.
LGBT.
I thought you said I was speaking. You didn't want me to interrupt you while you were speaking, but you're interrupting me while I'm speaking.
Right now.
Yes. You just tried to interrupt me and I had to speak over you. I just mainly came over here because I wanted to know why you attacked a man who might not be mentally all the way there, may have mental disability of some kind because he misunderstood something you said and tried to claim that he had a 4th grade education
I didn't
level.
claim. I asked him.
Yes, after he had repeatedly asked you 3 times to not mention his education level.
Okay. So
Or
so
make
just
comments
because.
about his education
Okay,
level. If
so
I
let me
can
ask you
please finish my statement.
Sure.
And then you would not interrupt your session to conversate with me when I had very politely raised my hand and motioned for you to keep conversating with me after you called me out of the crowd 5 or 6 times.
thought we
So I
passed
just want to
that
know
already.
I just wanted to know why. I'm not saying I didn't get the answer that I expected to get whatsoever because you really just kind of went roundabout and didn't really give me an answer. But at this point, I'm not even necessarily wanting an answer. I just wanted to be able to
Say it.
ask you to see if you'd either answer me or at the worst
I-
point just get called
Oh,
out
forgive
because
me,
to
I-
me it's a huge double standard.
Forgive me. I actually thought I answered you already.
Yeah, well, you
but
answered me in
I'll
your
answer
way.
you. Well, that's the only way I can answer.
I
is
know.
my-
I'm aware of that now. You're one of those people that talk in circles and don't make sense when they have a full-on conversation.
What would you like from me
That's all.
right now?
I just wanted to know what in your right mind made you think that it was okay to call out somebody's education level or make assumptions out loud on their education level when they asked you multiple times out loud not to do so. But then you wouldn't to give me that same courtesy, I guess, or respect of a rebuttal when I had motioned to you to see if I could have a conversation with you in the moment while you were calling me out.
Okay, I get you. Like I said, your voice is not that loud. And
You didn't see me while you were looking at me go like this?
just because I'm looking that way doesn't mean I'm paying attention to all. There was a few voices making noise, and I have to pick and choose in my discussion who to talk to. I'm not sure what you were trying to say or not say. And again, there's a speaker there, and I always entertain conversation like I am right now. But now you have the opportunity
Yeah.
to talk to me
Which-
about whatever you want to talk
To
about.
be
Now
honest,
you
I got out
now-
the majority of what I
okay.
wanted, and I don't think I'm going to get any straight answers from you, so. At least
Okay,
not.
so we're wasting our time right
Yeah,
now.
we are.
Okay.
But I just
did you
wanted
want
to.
say something? Thank you. I've answered you twice. What?
The reason why it compelled the 3 of us to come out, us 3 in particular, we live together, was there's a lot of stories online about you and your organization. I don't know who in particular, was the doer of these things, but there's a lot of like really nasty things on the internet about your organization, and of course, one of them, the most popular, being the man being put in the hospital for months on end for him getting assaulted, having to have the rest of his life having plates in his leg. and something like that, when you hear something like that, you want to make sure that the people in your community are protected and safe. And there were a lot of disrespectful things going on. I'm glad no one got assaulted today, so I think that's a celebratory thing. But it's really, I don't really have any questions. It's more or less just stating, the reason why we decided to come out today.
Well, I'm not. I mean, I don't know if you guys are the type of people to examine both sides of the story.
I do, yeah.
I hope you would.
I'm very unbiased.
That's me. I'm not unbiased. First of all, I wasn't there.
Okay.
And what happened has nothing to do with my organization. So
Okay.
that's
It goes around. Sorry.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
The left-wing media wants to make me look bad, and I had nothing to do with this.
Okay.
The guy that's preaching in that other area has nothing to do with my organization. He used to come to my church 3 years ago.
Okay. Sorry. It's whenever that story circulates on the media,
My name comes up.
Your name comes
Yeah,
up.
which is actually we're thinking of pressing charges and suing the media.
Okay.
Because, again, my organization has nothing to do with that.
Okay.
So the sad part about it is you got a whole community riled up about me, and I wasn't there. This has nothing to do with my organization. So now it's an attack on my organization, my name, and my entire religion. And this is religious discrimination and bigotry at the highest level because I wasn't there. This has nothing to do with my organization. So how are you gonna? It's like going to school. Someone has a grade 3 teacher, teaches them mathematics, and then it's the same guy that graduates from university, gets his bachelor's degree, robs a bank, and then the media is like, oh, but did you know that this guy went to school in grade 3 and had Mrs. Clark as a teacher, and Mrs. Clark should be banned from everything because this is the disciple of Mrs. Clark.
Which I can understand.
Like, unbelievable.
I think it goes. I don't think it's.
No. This is unbelievable because my organization and me has nothing to do with that situation.
Right.
Now, I reached out to Justin Morissette. When I found out that my name is being brought in, my organization is being brought into this, I reached out to Justin Morissette and I put this on my social media. You could see the message. I say, hey man, Justin Morissette, just want to let you know, like, we had nothing to do with this, and I hope you heal better. I'm willing to sit down and have a conversation with you in private, and but I hope the best. You know, his response was F off and blah 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 and blah blah. He threatened my life.
I think he felt very attacked by the whole.
I think-
Because when the story is circulated, I wasn't there. I cannot speak on this, but the way that almost every media outlet has portrayed this story that has been circulating on the internet for quite a long time is that that person was associated with your name in your organization.
2 weeks actually.
Sorry?
2 weeks. This happened 2 weeks ago.
That's what I'm saying.
Not months, and then this guy wasn't in the hospital for months. It was only 2 weeks.
But that's what I'm saying. It's been every day. I've been seeing this online.
Yeah. So this is an everyday attack on me, my organization, and on my religion when I had nothing to do with it.
I don't think it's your religion. I think it's just the organization.
No, it's my religion because if you actually read these articles, which I have,
Right.
they don't like people that preach the gospel like me. This is the evangelical religion.
Again, I don't think it's the religious part of it. I think it's just the methods that are used within it.
Like what?
Well, see, the things that I've seen, and even today, for instance, there have been some very disrespectful comments, which it does rile people up. It does. I mean, when people say hurtful things, not everyone's going to take that well.
Have you ever thought of it like, first of all, I came here in peace, and I have a group over there trying to protest me. Like, I mean, you guys came to protest me. Like,
Well-
no. Let's be fair. First of all, there would be no one riled up because I didn't come for your community. You don't see anything saying I'm coming to target the LGBT community. I don't know if this is an LGBT community. This is in front of a mall. I didn't come for you. You came for me. So, think about it.
Mm-hmm.
If I walked into your area and started targeting you, okay, you would have something to say. But I didn't come.
This is our area.
Okay,
We do live
come on,
here.
man. This is not an LGBT community.
This is
a
my
neutral.
home. I live about
Actually-
5
My home
minutes
too
that
is
way.
Canada.
This,
Okay, but this
no,
is not. This is not.
Saskatoon, Saskatchewan is my home.
Let's
I
be-
came here, and before you continue,
You just interrupted.
what you are saying is completely disrespectful to the fact that we quite literally live here, and you're trying to tell half of these people, oh no, well, none of you live here. No, I get a right to speak about my hometown, born and raised here. I will always fight every single day for the people I love and I believe in. Here's the thing. I went to Catholic elementary schools. I believe everybody deserves to get to believe in what they want. The thing is when you're endangering anything to belittle, to disagree with, I'm somebody who grew up thinking I couldn't love somebody because they had the same body as me. I have been shown nothing but kindness. And growing up here, having the people I didn't know teach me how to accept and to love. I didn't grow up straight Christian. I didn't. I'll say that. But with the people I've met, I believe God exists. I believe Satan exists. I'm not sure if you're familiar with any Greek mythology. Bastet, she's a queen of fertility, love, and she's a beautiful warrior who protects her people. I believe in many things, but sending hatred, I don't hate you, I don't hate your organization. I don't like that people have gotten hatred from that, and they are belittled and told that they can't love who they love, they can't be themselves. If they were born in the wrong body, they deserve to be who they want to be. That was what they were given. One of the main messages I'm always told is if you were born in this body, that's what God gave you. But your body, your temple, you get to decorate how you please. That is how it should be. Nobody should get to take that away from you.
Look, I'm not sure if like everybody has the right to their perspective, but if I came here to assemble with my people in peace, and to anyone who wants to hear me, there's another group there protesting and trying to get you off the street, tell you things like you're not welcome, putting your middle finger up at you. I'm not sure why you don't see that as hateful.
I do see hate.
Because that was coming from your group. I didn't come here for you. You came here for me. So who's the antagonist
When you
or
have
the person?
people.
Oh, no, listen.
Sorry.
Listen to me.
Fine.
Look. You're entitled to do whatever you want to do with your life and be whoever you want to be. This is your freedom as a human being. Now, it's also my freedom as a human being to share my perspectives and my beliefs. And I started off talking about that. And I heard the riling behind me. I heard all of that stuff behind me. The hateful comments behind me. Even when I wasn't even talking to you. So, if you want to say who started it, who's you? Because as far as I know, you guys don't really know anything about my organization. You guys came under the presumptions that I have something to do with Justin Morissette and a broken leg.
May I add something?
Let me just finish. And I had nothing. So you came here with false pretenses to protest me, harassing me, hateful statements against me when I wasn't even talking. And then now, for some reason, because some guy had some fact and I hit him back with a response that you didn't agree with, that's fine. All of a sudden now you excuse all the hatred you threw at me, all the vitriol you threw at me.
Sorry, but what about the hateful things that came
Hold on.
towards us? No, I know. I'm just interjecting. I'm sorry.
You started with the vitriol and all the hatred towards me when I wasn't even talking. I made one comment as a guy about his education level because of his factual knowledge, which could sound provocative. I'll take that. And then all of a sudden now, you forget what you did to me. It made me feel unwelcome from the start when I wasn't even talking. I said nothing hateful to you. And then now, you want to turn the tables around and say I came and hated at you, and then throw this Justin Morissette stuff at me, which had nothing to do with it. Now, if you look at it in a factual, logical, chronological way, we'll see who the perpetrators were. And it was you. Now, listen.
No.
I can handle that because it doesn't. I understand that in life, we're gonna have people that don't like you.
I would like to make a point, so just one of your
Go
previous
ahead.
statements before it gets too far from it.
Go ahead.
There was one statement you made about saying how we came here first with all this hateful message, which I get against you. I understand that that's how it comes across to you,
Was
how
it true?
we attacked you. If you are in your home and you hear all your friends in the media, the newspaper, everything telling you that these people are coming, and they have sent hateful messages or gone and told that your people can't live because they have a different body than what they were born with, or they can't love who they love, you hear that they're bad against everything you stand for. Would you not want to stand to defend your home? If they're coming inside your home to the place you reside, you would want to defend it, correct?
You know what I would do? I would look into it first. And this is what I would do. Maybe everyone's different. Most people are sheeples.
But what I'm
They just-
saying is
hold on,
every single
I'm
media
responding
outlet.
to you. I'm responding to you. What I would do is look into it first. I don't care what media says. A lot of fake news out there. And I don't know if you noticed that, but it's so
I've-
obvious over this last COVID-19 stuff. You can see all
the
the
way
fake
they treat
news.
the riots.
Right. So first of all, I don't judge people based on what media says or what people say about people. I get to know them for myself. So I'd probably come down like you, and I'd probably want to hear them for myself before I judge. I'd be like, what is he saying? I'd probably come up to the person and say, can I have a conversation with you? I heard this in the media. Is this true? Just to get the other side from the horse's mouth. That's what I would do. And if I find out from the horse's mouth and I do my research it's not true, then I'd probably tell my friends, like, hey, you know what? I think you're wasting your time with this guy because I think you're misdirecting your anger.
I came here late today, so do forgive me for not knowing this. Did you have a session before all of the preaching and your speaking? Did you have a session in which people could come up to you and ask you questions beforehand? Because I know you're scheduled for Regina as well. Today.
Yeah. I'm actually late. I normally do, but today because there was a large group of Christians,
Yeah.
we just had some prayers. I don't know if we sang a song. Did we sing a song first?
I did hear a hymn coming
We
down.
probably sang a song, and then I just started sharing a message about freedom of religion and speech, and freedom of expression in Canada. And then, meanwhile, I was doing that. Your group was just hating on me and behind me for the whole time, which for what I don't know. And then I said, I'm going to share the gospel, and so I shared my story. I said, look, I came from a broken background. A messed up situation. I was bullied. I was rejected. I was in jail. I was drugs, women.
I
abortion.
had a teacher bully me for jewelry that I might have worn and telling me that I was deficient in the mind. I understand bullying.
So I've been through a lot, and I addressed some of your guys' bullying towards me by saying, you know what, look, it seems like you would prefer me the way I used to be, and some people were cheering and like, yeah, which is kind of weird. But anyway, you guys have your rights to do that. And then I was telling them, look, God loves you guys. God cares for you guys. God's calling you to Him. He doesn't want you to walk in pain and anger. And He doesn't want you to live in drug abuse and alcohol abuse. Cutting yourself. Like, God loves you, man. God has a purpose for you. And I kept saying that to you guys. And then one of the friends started, attacking me with some words, and that's when I said, well, what's your education level? Because he was coming at me with some fake facts and telling me some nonsense, and I was like, what? Do you have an education? And that is aggressive. I'll give you that. It's a straightforward response. But in this world where people are swearing and cussing us, putting with a middle finger, I think that's a very mild response compared to curse words.
Everybody fights for what they believe in.
Yeah, and then he kept going, and I'm like,
man.
man, I mean, I don't know what something about fourth grade education. It was provocative. I'll take it. I'll own that. But in no way was I saying that he has no hope or he's not loved. I'm here because I believe that everyone has hope in Christ, and Christ died for you. And that was my consistent message through the whole thing. And why? And then someone brought up Justin Morris's leg getting broken, and I tried to respond to that guy. I said, you want to know why? Well, first of all, the story is that I said, first of all, were you there? No. So was I there? I wasn't there. But from Justin Morris's own words, there was a guy preaching on the beach. He didn't like what he was saying. So he decides to take it in his own hands, use physical coercion to take his mic, which which is assault because you're gonna have to touch the guy or even steal the guy's things, which is wrong. And then the guy whose things it belongs trying to hold his mic, there's a little scuffle. Now, in that little scuffle, Justin ends up falling and breaking his leg. I don't support violence. It's sad that he broke his leg. Now, who's responsible for broken his leg? I mean, why did that happen? I mean, this can be debatable, but in the rule of the law, if you look at any law, someone who attacks you or tries to steal your stuff, you have a right to self-defense and a right to secure your property by law. So, if I'm going to go and try to steal your stuff, you have the right to stop me. Now, if you touch me, stopping me, that doesn't make you the bad guy. It makes me the bad guy. Because I came and assaulted you. If I try to rape you right now and you fight me back, would it be fair that you go to jail for me trying to rape you?
And the unfortunate situation is that actually has happened before.
Which is horrible. That's not justice. So the street preacher that gets assaulted and gets his things taken ends up going to jail because Justin, unfortunately, in his bad action, breaks his leg trying to assault a man. The guy who he assaults goes to jail. Justin Morissette becomes the hero. Media's painting, and they're not looking at the other side of the story. Now, Justin admits this. He admits in his own words, he attacked the guy. And yet, and the LGBT community calls him a hero. Now, they're calling him a hero because they don't like the street preachers. I get that. But according to the law, the guy, he brought that on himself. Now it's sad. I reached out to them. Look, man, I'm sorry you broke your leg. I hope it gets better. But, I mean, you can't be attacking somebody. What he should have done, if the guy was saying something so awful, he should have called the police and said, hey, this guy is saying hateful things or whatever. He should have took out his video camera, record what he's saying, call the police, or get his friend to record, call the police. And if it's true that what he's saying is so bad, he would have got arrested. No one, he would have had his leg broken. No one would have it. This wouldn't even be an issue. But he decides to do something wrong. He hurts himself doing it, and the media now, they're not looking at the whole story, which is wrong. And then my name. And what makes me peeved about this whole thing
Is that your name ended up being
I'm not
attacked?
even from the province. I wasn't there. And this has nothing to do with my organization. But for some reason, the left-wing media feels it's right to take a name, an innocent person, and blast my name, my picture, my organization all over the media. And I'm the real victim here in this whole, not Justin Morissette. And Justin Morissette is threatening me. He threatened to violently take my stuff and assault me on public media. I posted it on my Facebook, take snapshots, and he's still the hero. And he's still the hero. So the LGBT community, unfortunately, not everybody, but it seems like the media makes everything seem like a lot of things. The majority, they're supporting this. They're supporting this. And they're supporting the victimization of an innocent man, which is me. They're supporting an unjust situation by a man that ends up getting his leg broken, which is awful. But they're blaming the wrong people. You can't assault people. If I threw a fight and if I threw a punch, first punch, and someone responded with a punch, gives him an uppercut, and he gets knocked out, now the guy that gets knocked out is going to say, oh, look, he assaulted me. Like, I don't know what kind of world we're living in, but I hope this gets dealt with in the courts properly. And whoever's like, if you look at it rationally, and Justin is not denying that he assaulted the guy. So I think the case is already done. Like, Justin admitted his own guilt, but yet the media is making it look like the other guy's guilty. So, and it just so happens to be a black man. So, you know, I didn't want to make it racial. I think this is more religious discrimination, but it just so happens that Justin, if you go to his Twitter, I screenshotted a post of his apparent racial statement. Someone posted something and said, "Oh, how many of you feel like saying something racial?" And Justin Moses says, "Just say yes." The guy's probably a bigoted racist. So we have a white man assaults a black man. He breaks his leg in the attempt of assaulting a black man and stealing his property. He becomes the hero and the thing. Meanwhile, the black guy goes to jail. And then the LGBT is supporting the guy that openly on his own Twitter is saying, "I assaulted the guy." How is this even happening? And then this guy now, I'm the bad guy, and I have your group standing up here protesting me when I wasn't even there. So there's no logic. That's why there were so many Christians supporting me, because if I was so wrong, they wouldn't support me.
Everyone here not only supports you, but they are here because they support the message that you stand behind, and that's the biggest thing. It's not necessarily that they're supporting the guy who had his stuff taken from him. They're here supporting what they believe in, just like I'm here fighting for what I believe in. I don't believe people should be told that they can't love the people who they love. I want to stand here and defend that right.
I'm not sure why the LGBT community is making this about them. And my whole tour and preaching has nothing to do with me. I never came here to attack you. I came here to preach the gospel. Anyone who wants to hear it gets saved. If you don't like the message, you don't have to be here. You don't have to listen. And it's cool. This is Canada, right? Nobody anywhere in any of my promotions from my tour has anything to say I'm coming to attack the LGBT community. If it was the case, I'd go right in front of wherever your community is, which I don't even know because I'm not from here, and I would just blast you guys.
If that's the case, my personal recommendation, and now you don't have to follow this obviously because you don't need to listen to me, but making a statement saying that that's not something that you're trying to do is attack these certain people who want to love who they love, even if you're not affiliated with them whatsoever, making a statement saying, "Look, I'm not coming here to attack you or get rid of what you believe in. I'm just here to say what I believe in."
But I have. I've made it in person, every video, and even on my public Facebook. And for some reason, the liberal media, the left wing media, keeps denigrating my name. So it doesn't matter how much times I put it. You can add me to Facebook. My beliefs are biblical beliefs. You may not agree, but I've made it very clear over and over and over. I never came here for the LGBT community to attack me. But they don't seem to care what I say because they want to attack me. That's what you're not seeing. Because you don't know me.
Well, it's the unfortunate situation of LGBT people raising up their whole lives, end up getting this discrimination, and obviously it's kind of like poking a bear while it's living in its cage its whole life, and then you let it out. Well, obviously it feels the need to be afraid of the person with a spear.
Well, that's
You don't have a spear
I get
necessarily.
it. I get it, but that's Christophobia. That's like looking at a Muslim guy with a beard, and oh, you know what? Because someone bombed the 9/11 the World Trade Center, that every guy with a beard, we have a right to attack that guy and discriminate against him every time he goes on an airplane because they're all these Middle Eastern guys are gonna bomb the plane. That's not right. It's not every Pakistani's fault because two guys blew up a plane. So that's a lame excuse. Whoever these people are, unfortunately, it's coming across like the majority of the LGBT community, making excuses like, "Oh, I was bullied all my life, so therefore, just because this guy's a preacher, I'm just gonna bully him because he's a preacher, and he's the fault for all of my pain all my life." That's stupid.
I think part of the issue is there's, at least especially in this community, every single Pride I've seen more and more churches that come and they walk in the parade and they share their love. I have not seen that personally from your organization, that you preach that you love them and accept them all the same.
Look, I don't have to march in a parade that I might not agree with. I don't agree. I don't
necessarily mean a parade.
Yeah, you don't even know my organization to even know what we do or don't do. But one thing I'll tell you this is that there's a lot of members of the LGBT community that do not agree with Pride. I've spoken with many of them. I live right beside one of the largest gay communities in Canada, in Toronto, off of Church Street. And a lot of LGBT members do not agree with the Pride Parade because it's all about sex and orgies and stuff that they don't even agree. So not every member of the LGBT community supports Pride. So, you know, everybody has a choice what to believe and what to do with their lives, even with their impulses. What we believe as Christians is Jesus said you must be born again, regardless of your background. And he says, whoever comes after me must deny himself, pick up their cross daily, and follow me. What that means is sometimes we have feelings on the inside, we all as Christians, but we subject them to the ways of the Bible. This is our belief, and everybody's entitled to do what they want to do with their own feelings, with their own emotions, and with their own beliefs. So that's all. I actually, these two were waiting, and I'm actually really, really late for Regina. If you have any other questions, unfortunately I can't because I left these two waiting.